It got physical in today's Bears-Dolphins joint practice. Let's talk about it right now. Bend over to your right. What the was that? What's up, Bears fans? People want to hear me talk. What's going on, Bears fans, and welcome to another episode of the Nicholas Moriano Show. I'm your host, Nicholas Moriano. Make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment to help grow this Bears YouTube channel. Guys, it's going to be a quicker show. I know there's a lot to talk about with this Bears-Dolphins joint practice, but I got to head to Marquee Sports here in a little bit. So I'm going to give you all the details. Right at the top, though, this video is sponsored by Triumph Drinks. The hydrogen-infused electrolyte that helps fight fatigue, supports muscle recovery, and promotes overall wellness with the power of molecular hydrogen. Zero sugar, zero artificial ingredients. It's clean, effective hydration without the sugar or crash. Use code NICK, N-I-C-K, at triumphdrinks.com to get 10% off your order. Every purchase, everybody, one, helps this channel grow and keeps the content coming your way. Plus, Triumph donates a portion of every sale to mental health charities. Add the winning element to your daily grind at triumphdrinks.com. All right, guys, there's a lot to talk about, and let's just get right into it. From my vantage point, got to watch a lot of the Bears defense going up against the Miami Dolphins offense. And I can tell you from start to finish, and I had to leave a little bit early, and it sounds like it carried over. The defense brought a physicality to today's practice at Halas Hall that it looked like Miami wasn't ready for. I don't know if it was because the Bears had this intense practice last Tuesday, had a lighter day on Thursday, but today they brought it. It happened in the 11-on-11s. It happened in 7-on-7s, 1-on-1s, where you just kept on hearing the Bears defense celebrating or bringing it or just delivering some huge blows. And this was from like the third stringers all the way to the first stringers. Like there was a play where Noah Sewell is getting back there and delivering a blow. Then you see Grady Jarrett blowing up a play. Really awesome moment in practice. On the side that I was watching practice on, Grady Jarrett's family was there. And I would assume Grady Jarrett's wife is just like, let's effing go to Grady. And then he goes out there and makes a play. Like it was almost contagious, but that's how the defense was bringing it. Dennis Allen's unit and Mike McDaniel's there. You could see him getting frustrated with the offense because there was I wasn't tracking every single pre-snap penalty, but Miami had about at least 6 at the point of when I was watching practice and just getting frustrated with it. There were passes being just incomplete. There would have been sacks. Like I'm going to have to go through all my notes here, but guys, this was I thought a really good showing from the Bears defense going up against a Miami Dolphins offense that didn't have Tyreek Hill. An important, obviously a difference maker when he's out there on the field, but Tyreek Stevenson, a guy that, loves to chirp. First off, he was letting his play talk in the beginning, locking up some guys in one-on-one coverage, but he blew up a screen play intended for Jalen Waddle, closest to us on the sideline. Larry Borum, former Bear, was supposed to end up blocking the outside man, a.k.a. Tyreek Stevenson. Tyreek avoids the block. Boom. It was a hit. And Jalen Waddle was down for a good period of time. Eventually got back up. But the defense brought that intensity. I know I had some reps in here in the one-on-ones where I saw Trevon Dexter win. He did win his one-on-one, but that was after Grady Jarrett had a nice one-on-one rep. Austin Booker put somebody, third stringer, on the ground with a nice long arm. You saw some really good things from this Bears defensive line. Dio Dangbo, someone that, I've only been to 3 practices. I haven't said much about, but I had 55 over here winning some reps in some of his one-on-ones. 55. I put the greater than sign. 52 for the Dolphins. Spin move, dominant rep. And obviously that left tackle slips on the play. 94. Austin Booker, nice rep versus the left tackle. Long arm. So I really loved what I saw defensively. And guys, the Bears were down some of their secondary players. No Kyler Gordon practicing in today's practice. A good note, he was he didn't appear to have anything on him in terms of like compression. He was just out there, shorts, long sleeves, some kind of cover up, but nothing like on his body. Jalen Johnson was also out there. He was talking some smack too, even though he wasn't practicing. So good. I think honestly a good showing. The one part in this Bears defense that kind of got taken advantage of a little bit was in one of the situational periods closer towards the end of practice where the Dolphins just got two huge plays in the middle of the field, two seam routes going down the middle of the field, and the Dolphins were able to move the ball pretty effectively. But then things kind of settled down, and the Dolphins offense had to settle for a field goal. But outside of that, really liked what I saw from this Bears defense. Some of the one-on-ones. Saw Terrell Smith making some plays out there. Nashawn Wright, the other Bears cornerback who's kind of taking the place of Jalen Johnson right now, battling. There were some reps where he won in the one-on-one, some where he's able to use his length. He tipped a pass that was intended for a receiver, got his arm in the way, and then it was, was it? I want to say it was one of the safeties that was able to get the interception. I think that one was Kevin Byard. Jaquan Brisker was balling out. You got balling. Jaquan Brisker made his presence felt. He was able to get an interception in the 7-on-7 period, take it back to the house. He actually threw the ball into the stands. It was one of the Miami Dolphins footballs, and one of the equipment guys had to come over, switch the ball because that was a game ball, and allow the kid who did catch the pass to keep that football, but kind of have to take the game ball back. But loved what I saw from Jaquan Brisker. Byard got an interception too as well. So it's like the guys were out there balling despite having, not their full strength in the secondary. I have Elijah Hicks breaks up a pass in the middle of the field. Terrell Smith breaks up a pass. T. Smith makes a diving attempt on a ball. Great. Here's the one caveat. There were some, I would call them legit runs against this Bears defense that would have gone for 5-6 yards. So that would be the defensive line, maybe the linebackers not getting to their spots as ideally as they should be. So I do have that in my notes. Like there were some runs by the Miami Dolphins offense and their running back, Devon Achane, that would have actually, I think, gone for legit runs in a game, 5-6 yards. Obviously way too much to be had, but overall, you really like what this defense showed. And then I didn't get to catch this live because I had to leave early, but it looks like Tremaine Edmonds also made a big time play in the red zone to intercept Tua Tagovailoa as the Dolphins were working the low red zone. So really great. I thought it was an encouraging day from Dennis Allen's defense against a Miami Dolphins offense that, like I said, just wasn't ready. Just wasn't ready for the physicality, mental mistakes with pre-snap penalties. So I don't know what it was, but the Bears came out to play, and maybe because they're not starting a bunch of starters in this upcoming game, but they were just not ready whatsoever. Now, offensively, guys, I'm not going to honestly be able to give you as much of an in-depth look at what was going on over there, just because my vantage point, I'm at the 50-yard line. I have one field, which is the Bears defense going up against the Miami Dolphins offense, but the furthest field is where the Bears offense mostly worked against the starting Miami Dolphins defense. So it was a really tough vantage point. But what I will say, just kind of going through my notes, and this is not going to be the most accurate way of looking at practice, but it was my vantage point. It just seemed like the reps that I caught from Caleb, there were a couple times where, for whatever reason, kind of held on to the ball, had to scramble. I did see him get intercepted on the first rep of 11 out of 11. There was a nice completion to Colston Loveland. I saw a completion to Cole Kmet. Olamide Zaccheaus made a couple of catches in this practice, but to be completely honest, it was really tough for me to gauge what was going on that field all the way over there. You can only do so much with one person. And I did have my military grade binoculars. I don't know why I have these things, but so I was able to catch a little bit of those reps, but nothing too crazy in terms of what I can provide in depth wise. And, that's just kind of how it goes. It's either you're looking at the defense or you're looking at the offense. I'll have to make note of the next practice, maybe really paying attention to the offense. But it kind of looks like, just based off of tweets and based off of, what was kind of going on, it wasn't the greatest day for Caleb Williams. I think hanging onto the ball was kind of a common denominator in the practice, but that's kind of what was going on. I'm trying to go through, Caleb to Cole, crossing route, ball out quick. That was one of the notes I had. Now I had Bajan to Loveland. So there's a two play sequence going on where I was able to catch the farthest play on the field for the Bears offense, where Loveland, huge play in the middle of the huge play in the middle of the field, 50+ yard touchdown. Then you have also Brisker intercepting Tua Tagovailoa. Those are happening the exact same time. One field has that, one field has the other, and then boom. So, what do we have? Grady Jarrett, let's go. Yep, his wife's saying that. Right, Nishan, right, deflects a pass, 18 of 14, big play. So that would be Olamide Zaccheaus, correct? Yep, Olamide Zaccheaus. So he was a guy that was popping off for the Bears offense. False start, Miami Dolphins offense. But man, yeah, it was a hot ass day, you guys, too. Hot day where, again, a lot of things were going on at, the same exact time. But it was a fun day of practice, though. You did see, so Andrew Billings, really quickly, he did get injured on a rep, came off the field for a little bit, but just was looked at the trainers and then eventually got back into practice. I don't know if he got back with the first team and he didn't have to go away or anything. He was just on the sideline. So it was good to see him just kind of hanging around after initially getting dinged up. So, with these joint practices, you just want to avoid any of those major injuries. Let's see. Incomplete Tua Tagovailoa. Yeah, there was just a bunch of passes too where Tua either had nowhere to go or just dirted some passes, which, again, credit to the Bears defense for making it difficult on Miami's offense. A lot of speed over there. Again, no Tyreek Hill, but that was what was happening. Noah, TJ Tremaine were in on some plays on the 3rd and 16. 55 might have tipped a pass. Oh, that was Dio Dangbo. So, again, it was good seeing Dio make some moves out there, make some plays. He's obviously going to be a big part of this Bears defense moving forward. I have Caleb would have been sacked on one of the reps. Happens. Caleb runs and dirts a ball. Wide open Miami Dolphins running back. Booker put the left tackle on the ground. Jalen Johnson chirping on the sideline. Dom Rob plus who's 69 on the Bears? That would be Tanoa. Can't even pronounce the last name. One of the new defensive ends getting a sack. Grady blows up a play in the backfield. Dexter makes a tackle for loss. So, guys, Bears defense is getting after it. But to be completely honest, can't really talk too much about the Bears offense, unfortunately. Just from my vantage point, I'm not going to say stuff that, I don't have that firsthand knowledge of. But that's what I saw. And like I said, this has to be a quicker show, unfortunately, because I got to bounce to get to Marquee. But obviously, I see people in the chats. I'm by no means am I don't like if Caleb didn't have a good day, he didn't have a good day. If it wasn't a productive day for the Bears offense, whatever. It's not being negative of Caleb. I think it's interesting that, most of these starters are not playing in Sunday's preseason game. I feel like with a team that is still learning a new offense, has a lot of new components, I would have liked to see him play in the preseason game against the Miami Dolphins. But if you're the Bears, are you just not wanting to do that at this point because you don't think they're ready for live game action? I have no idea. Or you just wanted to use this practice. Obviously, they got a lot of good work in today to really get things situated, I guess. But I still would have liked to see him in the preseason. Like you just had Joe Burrow and the Bengals offense go out there, yesterday, right? But it is what it is. So we got to see. I think Ben Johnson sent his presser. I didn't get to catch it. That at some point the starters will play. You just want to see when, and they better not just be handoff type of plays. You want to see significant reps that actually matter, right? Well, guys, we'll have to wait and see on that. So there's still obviously this preseason game is going to matter to a lot of these guys who are battling for positions, but does make it a little less interesting when you don't have the first team offense going out there playing and seeing what they could do after installing and being in this, install phase, seeing how that all kind of plays out here. So, but guys, that's really going to do it for this episode. I'm sorry that it has to be so quick, but I do have to bounce and get over to Marquee Sports and, go do things over there. But really quickly, got to give my guys at Windy City Sports Cards a shout out. As you know, they specialize in buying and selling all things related to Chicago sports. So whether you are a diehard fan of the Bears, Bulls, Cubs, White Sox, or Blackhawks, they've got you covered with an extensive selection of sports memorabilia and collectibles. In addition to the Chicago-focused items, they also offer a vast collection of sports trading cards and memorabilia from your favorite teams and players. Visit their online store to find exactly what you're looking for to complete your collection or to discover a new favorite. Check them out at 312-WinnieCitySportsCards.com. That's 312-WinnieCitySportsCards.com. All right, guys. It's about 15 minutes. Any updates on the running backs? Yes, actually. So I know I had a couple of notes. Sorry, going back up all the way to the one-on-ones. Like literally my notes are, I'll go furthest field, one-on-one. Okay, I see DeAndre Swift cook some linebackers for the Miami Dolphins in those one-on-one in breaking route type of drills. That's where he's going to excel. I know I had DeAndre Swift doing that. I also had a Kyle Manung guy winning a route on a out route and one-on-one. So a little bit there, but to be completely honest, in terms of runs that happened, just didn't have the best vantage point for those types of plays, unfortunately. So you know what I'm going to make sure I do next time? If I'm able to go to Bears-Bills joint practice, you already know it's going to be very offensive focused, just so we cover all of our bases here. But that's going to, honestly, guys, that's going to do it for this episode. I appreciate it's condensed, it's short. I'm sorry, and offense didn't get its love in today's episode, but one thing is sure, the defense, physical, brought it, and like if you had a winners loser day, Bears defense I think was the most consistent unit, especially on the Bears side, but definitely was dominant over the Miami Dolphins offense today. And again, no Tyreek Hill, but still, you work with what you work with. Bears didn't have Jalen Johnson or Kyler Gordon. And so the Bears were still able to show some really good things. I really loved really quickly, too. There were a couple reps where I just made note. There are literally 8-9 guys at the line of scrimmage. If you're an offense, you're like, who the hell is actually blitzing? Who's dropping back in coverage? Who knows? And that's what Dennis Allen's going to bring to this defense. Exciting stuff. We'll see how it continues to progress from here, but that's going to do it, you guys. Need to get out of here. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, whatever you guys are doing. Appreciate the love and support, and I'm sure I'll catch you guys next time. But until then, bear down, Chicago. Bend over to your right. What the f- was that? What's up, Bears fans? People want to hear me talk.